My name is Rebecca Kauten. I am verbal, I am neurotic, and I do my best to have fun with the work that I do. So my research is comprised of three main categories. So I'm looking at primary data, secondary data, and then kind of returning to primary data of working with people, not just things. The primary data that has been collected over the last 2 years is field data that we've collected in the city of Cedar Rapids, city of Coralville. The secondary data that I'm working with is from our Department of Natural Resources monitoring database, our ambient data from the U.S. Geological Survey. And then the third component, the interpersonal data, is going to be conducted this year through a series of in-depth interviews with transportation officials, public works directors, gaining their insights and their perspectives as it relates to winter road maintenance. So I have a rather unique dissertation committee and thesis committee. I have 6 members to my committee, 5 of whom are at the University of Iowa. 3 are in the geography department. 1 is from the College of Engineering. And I have 1 committee member who is from Coe College in Cedar Rapids. And Dr. Marty St. Clair is an environmental chemist. And he and I have collaborated over the last 2 years, and the undergraduate students who've been assisting with the field research are working under his guidance at Coe College. So it's kind of a combination of both the research institution of the University of Iowa plus a community or a local private college, not a community, but a local private college, being able to collaborate using his lab, using his equipment, and the data that they collect then comes back to me, and then I use that for analysis. So thinking about this framework of the urban water context, so thinking about elements of how humans impact water quality, I've kind of categorize things in my own mind in terms of 3 main elements. So we're thinking about quantities, being able to actually assess physical conditions, but then interpret those quantities in terms of quality. So we have certain concentrations of pollutants in the environment. Well, what complex story do they tell? What's the bigger picture? And both of these then link to having a greater local understanding and being able to say, how do we then address these needs and move toward environmental management that is not only feasible, but that is economical, so folks like the city of Cedar Rapids, the city of Coralville, can actually take steps to make a measurable impact, because it's moving from probabilities to generating expectations, but really being able to produce outcomes. To say, we've done something because we found this to begin with, and we have a measurable level of impact. So on the broad scale, this is kind of the gist of what drives my research, with the idea of winter road maintenance and road salt application as the underlying theme. What we should be thinking about as individuals is be more aware of, when you see a large, pile of salt that's on the sidewalk somewhere, it's probably more than is necessary. A little actually goes a really long way. And when you realize how much you really need versus how much we want to see applied, it's changing that perception of understanding that salt doesn't go away. It does dissolve, but it moves out into the environment. It's either in the soil or it's in the water, and the more we apply, the more it accumulates. And so it really just becomes, it's about awareness from our standpoint of, you don't want to you don't need to overdo it. Yeah.